This video is just a quick note regarding the Toshiba IK-1850 color camera. If you have a Sony SL2000 or any Sony machine that you want to use this camera with, I didn't really know this. Some of them have a switch, but it actually won't work with a Sony VCR. It's sold with a Toshiba brand VCR, which it works with. But if you connect it to a Sony like an SL2000, you can turn on the VCR, but it won't actually allow you to record or play or do anything with the transport functions. It won't power the camera or anything like that. And the reason for that is actually in the service manual. There's a setting, or an actual physical setting inside the camera you have to change. And I figured, for the heck of it, because I'm sure one person in the world, probably me, is the only one using this combination in 2022. But anyway, you take the cover off this one side here, and there's two screws to remove this board. It's actually on a hinge, so you can carefully hinge it back. And then inside, above the Vidicon tube, mine, I have two of these cameras, and I don't believe my other one has this modification board. So there are actually two screws here. You take that board out of this area right here, and be very careful not to hurt the neck of the tube when you do this. Kind of fold that out of the way here. Let me see if I can show you exactly what has to change. Alright, so there's a couple things. Let me zoom in. First of which, let me see. So, first thing is this diode here. I believe that's D306. I lifted a leg of that. You have to actually remove that to make it Sony compatible. And then C318, this capacitor right here, which is a, let's see, 100 microfarad, 10 volt polarized radial cap. So C318 comes out. So it's D306 and C3, D306 and C318. Lift a leg of the diode, pull the cap out, and then, shame there's a glare here, but there's a jumper, this little white jumper here. Let me see if I can get a better shot of that board. Yeah, so see, it says T for Toshiba, TM, I don't know what the M stands for. There's a VHS option, and there's an S option. So you have to move this jumper to the S option to work with a Sony VCR. And I think what that does is, I did some tests with this before I got the service manual and realized there was a setting on pin, let me think, it's not the tally pin, it's the camera pause pin. It's either 5 or 6 in that K connector of the 14 pins. With a Sony VCR, the VCR is expecting a momentary pause, like just a momentary grounding of that pin to start and stop the recorder. And with this in the Toshiba setting, it actually puts 5 volts on that line when the camera is in the run or record mode, and then 0 volts when it's in the pause mode. And from what I understand with the SL2000 service manual, there is a CPU in there that controls the function keys on the front, and it detects camera anomalies and things. And it seems to me that somehow with this jumper setting and these components in, it tells the computer something's wrong. I don't know if it's stray voltage on the line. I don't know exactly what is going on there, but it refuses to power the camera or allow you to do anything with it. So anyway, I guess that's the problem with it. So the service manual actually tells you how to change that. Now, if you wanted to use it with a VHS camera with a K4 or a K connector to 10 pin adapter, it says, according to this, they use an ADC 16 adapter cable from Toshiba. Let's see. Yes, the V terminal should be jumper wired. So you change it to VH, I believe. In case of connected, yeah, and you can't monitor the sound with the earphone. That's not an option on the 10-pin style. With Panasonic VCRs, you jumper TM and you remove D306 and C318 as well. And then if you're using, it's on T by default from at the time of delivery, which would make sense because they figure you're going to use it with a Toshiba. Yeah, however, be careful since there is such a model that other manufacturers' VCR connected to this camera does not pause during power on. Interesting. The English isn't so hot in this book. Anyway, so I hope that helps you. Oh, and then it says JVC or Hitachi VCR, jumper VH, and again, remove D306 and C318. And with the Hitachi VCR, it says playback video cannot be monitored with the viewfinder in VCR mode. So there you go. Maybe that'll help someone out there that can't get their camera to work, can't get their IK-1850 to work with their VCR, you know, because it's a common problem in this day and age. Anyway, hope that was of help.